So hey guys, welcome back to another video of Just Medical Stuff, and today we'll be talking about another important topic, that is diabetes type 1.5. Now this diabetes type 1.5, it is also called as LADA. LADA stands for latent autoimmune diabetes of adults. By the name itself you can get that yes, it is an autoimmune condition. Now I told you in my previous video that yes, diabetes type 1.5, it is a subtype of diabetes type 1. So it is an autoimmune condition and it has the same etiology as type 1 diabetes. So it can be due to autoimmune causes, it can be due to different viruses like mumps, rubella and Coxsackie virus, it can be due to bronze diabetes. And moreover, the main antibody responsible in type 1 diabetes mellitus is anti-GAD antibody, also called as anti-glutamic acid decarboxylase antibody. Now, this anti-GAD antibody, this is the main antibody and also the most common type. Now we have another type of antibody also, which is anti-islet cell antibody. Now this is the second most common antibody. Now, one more thing you should remember here is that this anti-GAD antibody is also present in a paraneoplastic manifestation of oat cell carcinoma of lung. This oat cell carcinoma, it is also called as a small cell carcinoma. I will talk about the paraneoplastic manifestations in my next video. Now let us talk about insulinopenia. I told you earlier that yes, in diabetes type 1.5 there is destruction of the pancreatic beta cells, because of which from the beta cells insulin, C-reactive peptide and amylin, they are decreased, there is a decreased secretion from the pancreatic beta cells. So I told you that insulin and C-peptide, they are in a ratio of 1 is to 1. So if insulin is less, C-peptide will also be less, and so insulin is less in the patient. That is why this patient will be extremely tired and they'll have many symptoms of diabetes, and that is why we can find insulinopenia in these patients. Now one more thing which you should remember, that this diabetes type 1.5, I told you it is a subtype of type 1 diabetes, yes. And it is due to an autoimmune condition, yes. But this type 1.5 diabetes, it looks like type 2 because of its symptoms, and that is why it is diagnosed as type 2 diabetes in at least 10 to 25% of patients. It is misdiagnosed. The symptoms here are also weight loss. We have excessive thirst, that is polydipsia. We have excessive urination, that is polyuria, and we have blurred vision also. I told you that yes, diabetes mellitus can cause retinopathy, which can further cause blindness in the patients. And with the name itself, you can get that it is a latent autoimmune diabetes of adults. Of adults here means a population of more than 30 years of age. That is why type 1 is typically diagnosed in people over 30 years of age. Now, what were the classical symptoms of diabetes mellitus? I told you about PPW. We have polyuria, we have polydipsia, and we have weight loss. Polyphagia is not included because we cannot measure the amount of food the person is eating. How much the person is urinating can be measured, how much liters the person is drinking can be measured, how much weight loss the person is actually having can be measured, but the amount of food the person is eating cannot be measured. So, these three are the classical symptoms of diabetes mellitus. Now, let us go with the treatment options. Now, what do you think? In a patient of diabetes type 1.5, there is destruction of the pancreatic beta cells. There is no insulin secretion. So, what should we give to the patients for the treatment? We should actually give insulin to the patient, but initially we can give drugs. We can give glipizide to the patient, just similar to type 2 diabetes, where we start the treatment with drugs like glipizide, metformin and teneligliptin. Even here we can initially start the treatment with drugs like glipizide, which are actually sulfonylureas, but later the ultimate treatment should be insulin. That is why we have to give a recombinant technology insulin, which is produced by human. Now we have different type of insulin which are actually animal based insulin. They are beef insulin and pork insulin, but they are not used nowadays because of their side effects. They can cause lipodystrophy and insulin resistance. That is why they are not used nowadays, not basically preferred. The route, you all know that I told you it was subcutaneous route. Sides, there can be many sides. You can have arm, you can have buttock, you can have anterolateral aspect of the thigh, and you can have the abdominal wall with a 2 centimeter distance from the umbilicus, a round area of 2 centimeter distance. Here also we prefer the intra abdominal wall as the site. But in this patient, the ultimate treatment is insulin, and the patient will require a regular dose of insulin, regular injections of insulin. So, to make it easy for the patient, you can prefer an insulin pump also, because this insulin pump, it will deliver the amount of insulin required on its own. So, you don't have to monitor it, the patient won't have to worry, it will be done on its own. So, it will be easier for the patient. Now let us go to the types of insulin. We have a rapid acting insulin, a long acting insulin, and a short acting insulin. The regular insulin we mostly give is actually short acting insulin. Rapid acting insulin, on the other hand, we have three different types. We have insulin aspart, we have glulysin, and we have lispro. Now these rapid acting insulins, they are actually the most commonly used in type 1.5 diabetes. They are the most commonly used. We have one more type of insulin. We have a longer acting ones, which are glargine and degludec, and they act for 48 hours. So the ultimate treatment in type 1.5 is insulin. Insulin is required by the patients. So you can give an insulin, which is a synthesized by DNA recombinant technology, a human insulin by the subcutaneous route in the intra-abdominal wall with a 2 centimeter distance from the umbilicus, and the insulin type we use are the rapid acting ones, which can be aspart, can be glulysin, can be lispro. So this was all you need to know about type diabetes type 1.5, and believe me, this topic is very important, and questions have been emerging from these topic nowadays. So please do give a read on this topic, and I'll be making another video on type 2 diabetes and more D. So just keep on studying, and thank you for watching today's video.